They get free donuts every Friday. They get...
Bruh! Bruh! No, 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 no. Why don't you invest that money in the freaking... We gave you candy!
President Donald Trump's immigration enforcement policies. The biggest immigration raid in Nebraska's history just took place, and the entire state is crashing out.
ICE raids sparking fear in communities all across the country, including in Omaha, Nebraska, where 80 people were detained in raids targeting 2 businesses yesterday.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you follow the law, usually it means you're a very logical person, which also means you're kind of very close to a lawyer, but they just do it better. So any person that is very empathetic, which is my point in this video, is going to bend the law to their advantage or turn a blind eye to make it make sense. Just like Spider-Man in my house.
The cell phone video capturing inside the lunchroom at a food processing plant showing ICE agents with handcuffed employees.
A sense of fear grips this tight-knit community.
Ladies, bring your paperwork with you.
Tight-knit community of illegals?
Show your ass!
After ICE raided this meatpacking plant in Omaha, Nebraska.
The looks on everybody's faces, it was just scared, crying.
Supervisor Stephanie Favila was in the morning meeting when agents entered Glen Valley Foods, arresting more than 70 migrants, including 3 of her family members.
3 of your family members? It would not surprise me you're complicit, that you have 3 of your family members working and they all got caught in one ICE raid.
Wow.
This is for you.
It's hard because they just call me asking info about my cousins and I don't know anything. I don't know if they're going to get deported. I don't know if they're good. I just don't know anything.
The men and women detained are suspected of being in the U.S. illegally. ICE says it's Nebraska's largest worksite immigration roundup in President Trump's second term.
This does impact our community and it does create fear.
John Ewing Jr. has been the mayor of Omaha since Monday. He says he
Monday.
Okay, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just laughing at the idea that the mayor just started to do a job. Maybe the job was kinda okay, and now it became a very difficult job. That's it, okay? I'm not laughing at these people.
Support workplace raids.
We want to ensure that people are treated fairly and that they have due process in the course of these things.
What is this guy who's been the mayor since Monday? What is he talking about? He wants people to be treated fairly.
Fairly is maybe how much they are paying these people, and fairly is how much they have to work to keep this job compared to the citizen that don't even want to touch that job because of the condition that they are working in. It's only human right when you're a citizen. But whenever they are doing it, hey man, be happy. Gracias, gracias, señor. I just leave acceptable slavery.
So he doesn't want immigration to go to the workplace for these raids? Where do you want them to go? House to house and do this in front of all the kids?
Well, they can't arrest them these days because of Sanctuary City, so they have to find them at the work.
Listen, I am the lead attorney. I've practiced over 20 years and I've handled countless immigration cases. And I'm going to give you an inside, behind the scenes perspective on how all of this works.
Because if you're left-leaning, generally, you need to bend the law to be empathetic. Not that empathy is bad, but you do bend the law.
Now, let's set the scene. What happened when ICE showed up at this meatpacking plant? You can see here when the ICE officials showed up to the plant, the workers went scattering. They were hiding in between stacks of meat. They were hiding in freezers. They were even hiding in the walls of the plant. Look at some of these women. Now, I can tell you, having represented so many of these people, that I guarantee that 7 out of 10 of these women have children at home and probably more than one.
Venga, dilo. Remember to subscribe.
Remember to subscribe? ¿Por qué?
Look at how she's walking. I would not be surprised somebody's like, it's your fault that ICE went there and she might have crashed her leg and now she's hurt. Pay for her medical bill.
kids are at school, and when their kids get let out, these kids will learn that their mothers are not coming home. Look at her. Do you feel bad about this? Now, many people are blaming President Trump, saying that his immigration policies are too stern. But many people are blaming these women, these mothers who are putting their own kids in this situation.
And when you deport them, this is bad, but not when Obama did it and he did it way better. Why? I don't know.
Just self-deport, you know you're not here in the country legally. A lot of people in this nation are frustrated with the illegal aliens and their protests, but some people are going one step further and are looking at the owners of these companies where these illegal aliens are working. They ask, why are these CEOs allowed to hire all of these people who are not here legally?
They work harder and it's cheaper. It's simple. You don't have to overthink it. Just assume if a baby had to make a decision in a very stressful situation, all the decisions like that is made by them like that.
Why are they allowed to pay these people these slave wages, and then when 50 get detained, 100 get detained, 150 get deported, nothing happens to the CEOs, nothing happens to the companies?
It's the intention that counts. I wanted to help these people.
Well, let's listen to what this CEO has to say about the raid that has completely decimated his company. Here is the owner of the plant where this humongous raid took place. We're going to listen to what he says on the same day the raid took place about his feelings on this occurrence, and I'm going to decode what he's really saying.
What I'm saying as a normal person, citizen, is not going to look any different than a lawyer that knows what he's doing. I'm not saying that I'm a lawyer. I'm just saying common sense makes sense. And if you know common sense, usually you would align with the law.
A lot of experience in this as an attorney, and I'm going to answer some of y'all's questions as to why these CEOs are not getting arrested.
Obviously, a lot of these individuals, you were under kind of the impression, from what I understand, they had documentation to work for you, and you thought they were working legally. Is that correct?
Well, why would we not? We e-verify. So what are we supposed to do?
Now, let me stop it right here. This owner says, well, we e-verify. How are we supposed to know that these people are not here in the country legally? Now, I'm going to tell you in a second why it's my belief that this man absolutely knew that so many of his workers were not here legally. But let's take it step by step. He says, we e-verify. Well, what does he mean? E-verify is just a system that's operated between the Department of Homeland Security and the Social Security Administration. So when you go apply for a job and you have to fill out that form I-9, the employer puts the information into the E-Verify system, and it compares your information that you put on the I-9 with the information that's in the Department of Homeland Security and the Social Security Administration record.
So to look good, they use the identity for other people, and all the mistakes they did, they just clear it up and then help another one? I don't know what the heck is happening, but I wonder what they do to the people that do fraud like this.
Let me say this. Interestingly, you hear a lot of aliens who are in the country legally say that they want the illegals to go back home. One of the issues is that the legal aliens are much more likely to be targeted for this type of crime. This is because if an illegal who speaks zero English goes to apply for a job with the name Sarah Johnson, it could raise a red flag. But there's no red flag raised when the illegal says she's Araceli Rosario Hernandez Garcia.
Yeah, it would be horrible if they're stealing identity of other people to put themselves in the system. But I don't think that's happening because people would see things happening on their name, be like, yo, that ain't my job. So I think there are other people that are consenting. But that also means if you're working illegally, you're never going to fix your freaking paper. You don't have an incentive. So no wonder a lot of people stay in the country illegally for so long.
Remember to subscribe.
The employer says, well, okay, that fits the description. So 9 times out of 10, the identity that's going to be stolen belongs to an alien who actually came here the right way and has all of their documentation in order. Now, another wrinkle to this that we see.
More wrinkle? Come on, man.
all the time is that the illegal alien does not steal the identity of the citizen. The identity was actually given to them by the citizen. Now, what do I mean by that? Listen, it's common for there to be Hispanic families where some of the family members are here legally and some of the family members are not.
Now you want me to be empathetic to this?
Say you are a 24-year-old woman and you're not here legally, but you have a 29-year-old sister that is. You say, hey, give me your papers so I can go apply for this job. She gives you her documents and her documents pass the E-Verify system. And then you start to work. Trust me, this happens at these jobs all the time. And they are not looking very hard at the pictures on the IDs that are presented. I've seen siblings, cousins, even friends get away with this. The companies are hiring people at $8.47 an hour.
$8 and that is bad because that is the amount you could have earned in the year 2000. And as a boss, if you're paying people so little and you don't see the benefit, but you have so many people working there that if they get deported or whatever, stopped or whatever, your whole business stops, you don't know that's happening?
They have an incentive to look the other way, and they do. I also need to say, though, that this is still a crime, even though the documents were given voluntarily.
Yes, I know.
If you present these documents as your own, it could be identity theft, it could be fraud, it could be perjury, depending on the jurisdiction and the type of job.
I have been in that situation that one family member asked me for help like that, and I told them no.
What the heck is that, man?
I don't want to be part of any of that because my father always told me, obey the law.
And your sister's tax history is going to be all jacked up. So the employer says, hey, I use the E-Verify system, so it's not my fault that these workers are working here illegally.
Officially, in other words, anybody that has more than 2 jobs, something should trigger in the system like, you know what, we need to verify the ID of the person if they are really that person.
How did it feel when you learned that they were using other people's identities?
I could not believe it.
Oh, it's a long story.
Yeah, I was so shocked.
I was dumbfounded.
Yeah.
These are good, hard-working people.
Do you think that this man really didn't know that his workers were there illegally? Put in the comments whether you think this owner knew that.
I'll tell you right now, hell no. There's no way he didn't know.
Do you trust me?
You would 100% knew because the amount of money that you're charging these people compared to the ones that you're supposed to pay that would work for less, you would see in the amount of money that you're earning and you would investigate why that would be happening. Nobody is gonna get richer and be like, hey, I have no idea what the heck is this is happening. I'm not gonna investigate. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing and hope for the best.
I know I do, but let me explain to you something. The minimum wage where this occurred in Nebraska is $13.50.
And supposedly he was paying $8, remember?
The companies are hiring people at $8.47 an hour. They just raised it this year from $12 an hour. Now, what do they do at these places? I have a lot of experience in this because Georgia is the top chicken producing state in the entire nation. We have a city about an hour outside of Atlanta that's called the poultry capital of the world and produces and processes millions and millions of chickens each year. The work at these meat and chicken plants is about the same, and it is brutal. I have represented tons of these people over the years. Let me tell you about the work. It is insane.
Just see it like this. Imagine you're working minimum 8 hours, 6 times a week, or maybe even 7, in unique condition that as a citizen, you would never do that and you would complain to HR complaining about your human right. But suddenly for other people that are coming from another country, be happy, we're helping you, let's go. It's like legalized slavery. Now, you might not consider it slavery, but if you put men in that position, I would call it slavery.
Because you're dealing with meats and chickens, the workplace has to be extremely cold. You're there working in these inhumane conditions, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours a day, every single day. You're working in and out of huge freezers. Your hands and feet, they freeze. Your joints are all messed up. You are doing extremely repetitive tasks with your hands. You get carpal tunnel syndrome. You get a lot of use injuries. It's assembly line work. Maybe you're on the slaughter line. Maybe you're on the trimming line. Maybe you're deboning. So many times people get cut and they lose fingers. The floors are all wet.
And now you're telling me it's normalized that you can work more than 5 times a week? What?
Constantly slipping, you're falling, you're tearing ligaments, you're breaking bones. Believe me when I tell you that most Americans will not work the slaughter line for $14 an hour, especially when Chick-fil-A is paying $17.
Yeah, I prefer to smell the delicious chicken than cutting it and suffering in unique conditions.
Working these plants is brutal. So if you ask me, did this owner know that these workers were here illegally? My opinion, my educated opinion, is that he absolutely knew.
The argument that I hate in this situation is when people say, if we pay them legally, the price will go up. I'm like, really? So because they're paying them less, did the price go down?
You can't keep getting away with it!
No, it didn't. It was never raised. They are earning money, not because they're charging you more. They're earning money because they're paying less.
Americans will not do these jobs deboning and trimming and slaughtering for $14.70 an hour. This man is going to have to jack up the wages, and that is exactly what he does not want to do because it cuts into his profits. I have seen these workers' paychecks, and would you believe that they get raises every year of 23 cents or 34 cents an hour?
What?
I mean, just think about it for yourself. You're an American. What would you say to your employer if he gave you a yearly raise of 34 cents an hour?
Why? Why?
I mean, first of all, I will go pin some money, buy some candy, and with a sense, I would like to throw it in their faces.
Well, do you know what these illegals say? They say, gracias, jefe. Le agradezco muchísimo por esta muestra de confianza. But you, what would you say as an American to your boss?
Wow, this is garbage.
And the fact that somebody can get a raise of cents and be super happy for the job while they know they're using the idea of a nephew that is working legally at that place.
There is no American, no adult in their 30s or 40s that can survive on $15.70 an hour and getting 34 cents in raises.
And we know people with kids are very loyal. So you can understand certain people are very trapped at these places to work. Because we need hard workers, right?
This man absolutely knows that.
They really, truly are. And they're part of our family.
So what,
They get free pop, they get free ice cream, they get free donuts every Friday. They get...
Bruh! No. Why don't you invest that money in the freaking... We gave you candy. We gave you ice cream. You said gracias. Be grateful. I could have given it to somebody else that would work less hours than you.
He says they're part of our family. They get free pop. They get free soda pop. They get free ice cream. We give them donuts on Friday.
See? Logic, lawyer. We agree together.
It's like they're my own sons and daughters. I give them free pizza. They're my family.
We love them. They're great people. It makes me so sad. They have families.
does it make you sad that they committed a crime, or does it make you sad they're being removed?
It makes me sad that I don't understand why in the hell they would use false ID when they can, I think, get a visa.
Well, I think you can pretend like that because you say you're not responsible because the system justifies it. It's okay. But I really care, especially when I can pay them less.
Now, maybe if they have a criminal background, they can't get a visa, but I don't know that. And I just assume that.
This man absolutely knows that the words that are coming out of his mouth are BS. He knows that these people cannot get any type of visa to work at his operation. It's pure BS what he's saying.
They were all good people.
How do you know that? If you don't even know who is working there and you go through the assumption that they are. Like, it makes no sense. Like, if I see a pattern of people that keep getting divorced in the family and my daughter marries somebody in that family and she gets divorced, I'm not going to be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's the same here. I'm not saying they're not good people, but the idea is that you're paying people so little, and you don't know who they are. How are you surprised that they cannot benefit from the system? Unless you willfully don't look in that direction.
Had no reason to think not.
So where do you go from here, Gary? What's
Well,
next for
I
you?
understand there's a program. We can work with Homeland Security and we can get visas from them along with a list of employees that we can interview, and the ones that we want, we give them a visa, and it's squeaky clean.
What? No, that's not happening.
There will be no visa. What Homeland Security is going to do is maybe provide him a list of the people that are at his employment that cannot work. But ain't nobody getting no visas around here, especially in this administration. If you are not here legally, President Trump has made it very clear that you're on your way out. And President Trump is not concerned about this man's profit, about his bottom line. President Trump wants him to raise his prices, raise his employment rate pay, and hire Americans first.
Because Homeland signs off on it, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until now.
Like, you think that should be more of an open conversation,
Well,
or a public thing, that you can have that access?
That would have eliminated today.
If you had known that there was a route you could have taken to get workers who can actually apply for a visa or qualify.
Exactly.
Okay.
No one's qualifying.
So where?
Exactly right.
So is your frustration more with the individuals or more with the federal government right now doing what they're
I
doing?
think the federal government. Is why
Okay. And now they're deporting the people and your whole business has stopped, but you don't know how you got rich?
What you went through, because you're not the only one. You can't be the only one, right? That's the other thing. Your business cannot be the only one going through
I'm
this.
told this morning that we have been the only company that e-verifies, according to one of the agents.
Now, that could absolutely be true. That could absolutely be true. A lot of companies look the other way and don't even e-verify. But again, sometimes when these companies even do e-verify, they look the other way. What do I mean? Suppose I'm this CEO and I hire a HR manager, an HR supervisor to supervise all the hiring. Someone comes in with their I-9, they come in with their documents so that they can be e-verified. I tell my HR manager, you need to e-verify everybody. Get all their documents and make sure we put them in the system. So what happens? The person comes in, gives me his ID, and I look at it, and I look at him, and I look at the ID, and I look at him. Guess what? It's not him. I can tell that this is his brother or it's his cousin. So I get the CEO on the phone. I say, hey, boss, we got this guy here. I know we need workers. I know we're understaffed. He's presented some documents, but I don't think that they're his.
Because the system is built in a way that even if they get caught with this, they can just say we e-verified. So as long as the company is not accountable for that, ta-ta!
Okay, I'm sorry I'm not poor.
The CEO say, hey, if he presented it, it's on him. Run it, see what happens. So what happens? The HR manager puts in the information that he gets from the prospective employee and the documents pass because they're the brother's documents or they're the cousin's documents or they're the friend's documents. So the illegal alien has employment, which is what he wants, and the CEO has employees, which is what he wants. So everybody wins, right? This is how the system is being gamed.
I mean, it's just about money in the end. That's it. Legal slavery. And if it was for the same work, I would have looked in the other direction. But you make them work way more for way less. I can't do that.
That's the other thing. Your business cannot be the only one going through this.
I'm told this morning that we have been the only company that e-verified.
That's not the only reason. I e-verified. Well, guess what? It's going to be, I'm not going to e-verify anymore because there's too much consequence and I lose money.
His experience has been the employers are part of the problem.
That's what we were
That
under
they
the
don't-
impression of
they
too when
don't
we first got
e-verify.
here. Yeah, and then
That's
we learned
true.
that you did do your due diligence.
Yes, and then we found out that that doesn't make any difference if
Now-
you e-verify or not.
Now, because
Ooh.
and all of the right steps, are you facing any backlash, any penalties, anything like that, or are you're obviously
Well,
working
the
with the federal
penalty
government?
we might be facing is not being able to hire people.
For less money.
What do you think these kids are going to do? When this hits the media, they're going to be scared to death, even if they're legit or not, I think.
You think?
Stop it right there. He just told on himself. He just told on himself. The reporter asking a question says, hey, you've hired all these illegals. Are you worried about any consequences to you or to your company? He says, no, my biggest concern is where am I going to hire new people? Everybody's going to hear about this. Everybody knows that we got raided. Everybody knows that ICE is hot on our trail. We're hot. He says, so how are we supposed to get new people?
By raising the salary. Oh, suddenly now your brain is thinking.
In your opinion. In your opinion.
I want to be rich with no consequence. But we don't have that anymore because we can't e-verify.
But do you see the problem? New people are not afraid of ICE. New people are not scared of ICE raids. He told on himself because he's scared that he might not get new people, but the new people that he wants are these illegals.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, I'm just a dumb YouTuber that has no idea what he's talking about. And we have advice from lawyers. And that is Spider-Man. You can choose whatever you want to believe.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, turloqueta, verdetta, welcome.